So when I stopped recording with Dave, we continued to talk and it got really interesting again. So then we started recording again. Here it is. The last psychedelics conference I went to, which was a MAPS conference, was amazing, and it was in Denver, and you were there, I know, as well. And there was so much being covered in the way of science, and I felt like that's great and it's legit, but it's so not the whole story when it comes to psychedelics. And I know you come from this angle of spirituality, and my angle really is joy. Like, why aren't we talking about the joy of being opened up by something other than ourselves?
Absolutely. I mean, and what we were just talking about, to me, the point of life is to enjoy it, right? That's we aren't meant to be miserable. We aren't meant to be corporate drones. We're meant to have an experience, and we're meant to enjoy that experience, and even enjoy the difficult parts of that experience. Um,
Is that
you know,
something
my
you've learned from psychedelics, or is that something you've always known in your bones?
I would say really that came from psychedelics, and I would even say that that came from some of the more difficult experiences that I've had with the psychedelics. My last ceremony, which I went into with the intent of how do I save the church because we had to shut down or we have to shut down our San Francisco location. It was I was dealing with a bunch of crazy, difficult things and uh, things that really would terrify most people that would experience them or could experience them if they got into these deep places without it, having done it before. Um, but what I came out with was, the point of life is to enjoy it. We are here to enjoy every experience. And if we understood how complicated things were on the other side and how much more to this reality there really is, we would understand how much we should enjoy every moment of this reality because it actually is a lot simpler than, than everything else that's going on.
Oh, you
We
think this
came
side
here.
is simpler than the other side?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, really? Okay,
This
that's good
is.
info. That's good info. Jesus. I thought we got to rest when we were dead. No?
No, we don't.
Shit,
We,
Dave. I thought we were having
we,
a conversation about joy. Now you're telling me it gets worse when you die. I don't know what to say.
well, I wouldn't say it gets worse, but it's definitely much more complicated. This time and space that we're in is relatively simple. We deal with a 3D reality that ticks forward in time, and we're just supposed to have this human experience. When you're talking about the vast amount of life and existence that exists beyond this, it's a lot more complicated than this. Um, and if you had those experiences, you come back, go, wow, this whatever hell that I'm going through, whatever difficult thing that I'm going through, it's a lot easier than that stuff.
And you only find this out by taking 30 grams of mushrooms.
I mean, it's getting into this breakthrough space. Definitely don't take 30 grams of mushrooms
Don't
if
take
you
30
haven't.
grams of
Yeah,
mushrooms.
you have to
It doesn't
slowly
help.
work your way up, and it's really important that you know the potency of the mushrooms that you're working with, because again, a 1 to 80 ratio means that you could do 1 gram that's
Mm.
actually 80 grams of what you're expecting to do. So the numbers, they what everybody needs to be paying attention to now is the active ingredients, and there's a ratio based on body weight, which is why we have that calculator up there.
Yeah, so
Um,
we need to investigate what we're putting into our bodies. Not all mushrooms are created equal. Or
Absolutely.
so we that's really important. But the other thing I think is important on this is people are sensitive in different ways, and we all have different thresholds, and we all have different egos, and we all have different, ways of experiencing joy. But I think that it's true to say that it is liberating to break through ego constraints, and mushrooms are a way to do that. And it is it's joyful to go through mini deaths. It's joyful to face your fears and come out the other side. It's joyful to see where you're being an asshole and then open your heart to yourself. You know, I mean, this is the way that I've experienced psychedelics more, which is just kind of like being able to observe where I'm stuck or, you know, failing to
Yeah.
see past myself. And then it just opens up and you get to kind of have a laugh about it.
Absolutely. I mean that's really one of the most important parts of this work, and where I actually say this can be the cure to suicide. You know, the experience of ego death, or even with the mushrooms, definitely feeling that you are actually dead and experiencing what you recognize as real death and what exists beyond this world. Once you come back from that, you have a whole nother perspective on life. And it's not that, you know, you take mushrooms once and all of a sudden you're cured from suicide. But if you do this work, and you, especially when you're in those really dark places, you can go into this and understand why you had to go through what you had to go through, and understand that it doesn't just end. Because that's one of the things that unfortunately leads to people doing this is, we can rest when we die, or there's nothing else, and it'll just end it and it'll be over and I'll finally be able to be okay. It doesn't work like that. And
Right. So it's not it ain't over till it's over. It's just it ain't over.
yeah, it ain't over. and
Oh my
and
God. Oh
and
my God.
your soul came here for a reason.
Yeah.
So, you know, in a worst case scenario, you take your own life. Now you got to face your soul. You know, don't worry about being judged by God. Be worried about being judged by your own soul, and it's
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, why the hell did you do that? We came here to do something, and now you screwed it all up, and we're gonna have to go right back again and learn that lesson again until we get it right."
Yeah. Soul is
Um,
big boss, right? Soul is big boss.
yeah,
You got to have a good relationship with it.
yeah, and this work is definitely something that can bring joy back into your life. It's the sort of thing where you can understand why you had to go through everything you went through, and be able to look at reality with a whole different perspective.
I love this. Thank you for doing this add-on with me about ego, death, death and joy.